There we go. And it's also been transcript as well. So you'll get all of that if you want it. Okay. So my question is for you is, what are your kind of goals for this year?
Generally, or with regards to social media?
The business. What are your goals for the business?
Right. This is a weird one. I want to consolidate and create a sound foundation for moving forward to create so the business ultimately in the longer term is worth more as an entity. So I guess this year I'm consolidating, tying up loose ends, which is what part of this is, making sure that my tech stack is a bit more interactive. Because what's happened, if you imagine, if I explain the business like a property that was bought to do up, and you add a conservatory here and a porch there and this there, and it becomes a sort of mess over time, and sometimes it's better to knock it down and rebuild a nice house. So it sort of felt a bit like that. And so I've been trying to do that, which is why I got funnel sketches, which I think you've got, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to use that as the key platform. I'm trying to merge other things, trying to sort out the website so that everything flows, so that the customer journey is the key thing, which at the minute I think we do a lot of good stuff, but nobody knows about it. So that's not very good. I think I tend to, it's weird and I don't quite know what the block is, but I don't put myself out there, but I'm not shy per se. Like last night I ran a meeting, and, I'm on lots of Zooms, and, I've stood and spoken in front of crowds. So I haven't got a thing about being seen as such, but I sort of have. I don't know what it is, whether it's social media or something. There's some blocks going on there. I think because I'm the sort of person, I like to prepare for things. So if I do a talk or whatever, I prepare for it. I know what I'm going to say and all the rest of it. So I'm not very off the cuff. I probably need to be more off the cuff with the social media stuff and just,
Yeah.
get out there.
Okay.
I think also the other difficulty with that is because I've got many faces, in the sense that I've got the key physiotherapy business, but there's also a veterinary physio. And so I've got different sort of client groups, and I can't be everything to all people. And it's like, well, do I put myself out there as the sort of key physio person? But obviously we do other types of things in the wellness space. And so do you see what I'm saying? It's that mixed messages. So then I think I don't put messages because I think it's too confusing. So it's trying to have
Okay.
how to have different hats, but in an effective way for different sort of niches, I guess, in a way. So
Okay.
going back to your thing with the business, it's tidying up, it's making sure that I've got a sort of clear end-to-end process, so that instead of social media being sort of slapdash a bit here, a bit there, and inconsistent. I guess in some ways it's not that inconsistent, it's consistently inactive. It's not that I've been like really proactive on it for a few months and then dipped off it. There's the odd post, but the posts are usually in relation to things that are going on, as opposed to anything else. So I think that engaging people is one of the key goals. Getting people sort of in the longer term. We have a through flow of clients, but we don't necessarily look after them and keep top of mind going forward. And I think also I'd like to get more appropriate clients, because although we get a wide range of clients, I'm not sure that all of them are bought into our sort of ethos and our way of doing. So it's trying to get more of the sort of clients that we would like, who understand and know how we work and all that sort of thing, so that they're a bit more loyal and they're not just sort of run of the mill
Okay.
clients.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. Brilliant.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah, no, that's
yes,
fine.
growing the business and all those things, but not exactly. I'm not necessarily looking to massively grow just yet. There's a whole number of reasons around that, but I'm looking
Okay.
to consolidate and have a really good foundation, so that when I want to grow, it's easy. So if like if you've got a really good funnel, or let's say even a sausage machine, and you've made sure that all the bits work, so you put something in at one end and it goes through and it comes out the other end, right, in a predictable fashion. If I could do that with all my funnels and all my social media, all the different feeds that come into different things, I know then I can turn the tap up or down according to what I want. Yeah. But the
Yeah.
machine works.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay, that's cool. Right. Okay. My next question to you is then just explain to me the different elements of your business, just briefly. Okay. So you've got X, Y, Z, what are and what they do.
What do you mean the different elements? Explain what you mean.
So
Different client base.
you've got, yeah, how is your business all structured? So you've
Right.
said you've got
Okay.
this physio, that physio. Explain to me as if
Right.
I've never met you. We're in a lift. You've got 60 seconds just to tell me what each part of the business. Don't want you to go into great detail. Just tell me, because this is going to help me then structure what we need
Okay.
to do.
Okay, so we have one main clinic and satellite clinics that deliver a range of physiotherapy services from acute injuries right through to chronic stuff, post-operative, whatever, a wide range of musculoskeletal stuff. But we also do some home visits. We do women's health. There's various key things,
Whoa,
and then
whoa,
we've
whoa,
got.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Sorry.
hold on, hold on, hold on. And this is the bit that's really confusing because I'm typing this and this is the thing. I'm the expert in the social media and the messaging, and I'm getting confused. And this is why I'm asking these questions, because we need to make sure we get this right for us to move forward with your social media. Because if I don't understand what your message is, or what you do, or who your clear audience is, and what you're offering, then nobody else will. And this is why we need to get this bit right first before you start going, okay, I'm going to post here, I'm going to post this here. So this is
Yeah,
why this bit is really, really important.
right.
So that main
I
clinic, I'm
think.
just going to let me just go back.
Go on.
That main clinic, who is your ideal client for that main clinic?
Probably somebody 40 and over who obviously is bothered about their health, wants to do something about it, is prepared to invest the time and the money in order to do that. You know, they're disgruntled with the health system as is. They know they're not going to get what they need, and they want to be proactive at seeking that out. They want reassurance, they want accountability, all those things,
Okay.
and they're prepared to pay into it for the longer term.
Okay, cool, great. Okay, so that's that part of the business. Is there anything else in the business that you do that you promote within your social media, your website, etc.?
Within our main human website, we don't promote the animal stuff, but we've got a separate website to do that. So we've got the veterinary physio, which is like a sister clinic, but they're run as the same business effectively.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Right. Okay. So both have separate websites, yeah?
Separate,
Okay.
yeah, websites, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And then with reference to social media, do you have separate social media channels for both?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, is effectively the answer.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
But the confusing thing is because I'm behind both of them, like I said to you originally, it's like, is it me? Is it the business they're seeing? I don't know if I'm the face of the business, or, you know, it's like, yeah, should I be on it? Should it be neutral? These are all the sort of weird questions, and trying to sort out a strategy, really.
Okay. Well, people buy people. So at the end of the day, it's the same with myself. So if you think with myself, I've got different elements of the business. But even though I've got an agency and I've got a team of 10 that work within that agency to do the social media management, people come to us because I'm the face behind that. It's my team that then provide all of the services. But when we speak to clients and we onboard them, we ask that question, why did you come to us? And they always say, we came to you because of Sam's knowledge, Sam's expertise, her industry background. So that's a really important thing. You still need to be that face behind the business, and that's really easy to do for both, as long as you've got them both separated. So with
Yeah.
reference to social media channels, what platforms are you on for the human side of the
Right.
business?
For the human, I've got my LinkedIn, but a business page. And I did a thing on LinkedIn recently, and I think I really underused that. I think that's probably one of the key areas I could actually improve on. So I've
Yeah.
got LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I've got a YouTube channel that we haven't really used. I've got a few videos on there. Um, I have got X, formerly Twitter. I used to use that more, but haven't done for a while. I haven't got a Pinterest account that I don't use. So that's pretty much the human side.
Okay. Now with Facebook, is that your personal profile or is it a business page?
It's both.
Okay. Right. And roughly,
And
do
that's why I
you?
don't really get how we separate. Well, I know how we separate them out, but I don't understand how to do that and keep it, you know, because like even with managing Messenger, all my staff have to go on their personal Facebook in order to get to our Messenger bit, which is the works bit. But now I've
Mhm.
managed to get it so it's linked in funnel sketches. So this is where all this muddle comes, and the staff don't like using their own logons, and it's all a bit messy.
Yeah. Okay. Now the animal side, what social medias have you got
So
there?
we've got Facebook, Instagram, and that's it, I think. I haven't
Okay.
got any LinkedIn. I should do, really. It mentions it on my personal LinkedIn, but
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Now the thing is with having all of this social media is you can't be everywhere. So it's now deciding which platforms you want to be on, because social media isn't just a one-way street. You know, whatever platform you want to be on, if you want it to be successful, you are going to have to do more. So you're going to have to put all the content out. You're going to have to interact with people every single day. You're going to have to connect with people every single day. And if you look at this now on an overall basis, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're looking at 10 different areas every single day that you need to be. That is at least 2 to 3 hours a day of work.
right.
So
So
you're going to have to balance around what you use and what you don't use, or what time element, or who's going to do all of this.
right. So here's the thing. How I see it, I don't know if this could work, is you pick a couple that are your key ones, and then a lot of the others can be automated from those. Like they can just sort of repost in different places. So you're still out there, you're still putting stuff, you're maybe not as engaging as much.
You can, however, the way that the platforms work now isn't a case of just creating one piece of content and then just sharing it everywhere. Yes, that will get you visibility, but it's not going to get you reach, and it's not going to get you engagement. So this is a decision that you need to make. So when I coach clients, I always say to them, you need to look at 3 tiers when it comes to your social media platforms. What is your primary platform? This is the platform that you enjoy, where your audience are pretty much going to hang about. What is your secondary platform? And this is going to be the one that you feel is the one that's next. And then you've got a third one that you might want to dabble with and just test out and see how it's going to be. Now, bearing in mind that most people only have one business, you've got two. So you've got to do that. So what you put out on Facebook, yes, can pretty much go out on LinkedIn, but your Instagram is going to have to be very, very different, because with Instagram, you've got to be, so with Facebook and LinkedIn, you're going to have to show more of a personal side. You're going to have to kind of show what's going on behind the scenes, people by people. So this is where you will come in. But then when we're looking at Instagram is pretty much 90% niche of what you do. And it's about sharing what is going on in the business, but also sharing content that is knowledgeable. Then you need to think about how many times are you going to create videos? Are you going to be doing tweets? So there's all of this that you need to. So when you've got a social media strategy, you can't just kind of go, okay, well, this is what platforms I have. This is where I'm signed up. I'm literally just going to go scattergun, stick everything out and see what works.
No, I get that.
Yeah. So if to have a strategy, you've got to think about, okay, where do we need to be? It's fine with the animal side because you've got 2 platforms and you might bring in LinkedIn. But the other thing is as well, don't forget that you need to be interacting. If you just want to put your content out there, that's perfectly fine. But you will get better engagement and better reach if you're kind of engaging with people, especially if you're using your personal profiles as well. So it's about having this balance around what you want to do. So that these are all the things that you need to think about.
Right. So with that, I can get people to help do things. So for example, if I did 1 or 2 key platforms, I can get other people, like I could get one of my physios to look at Instagram and just put a few things out. And if people say things, they could respond. They don't have to respond as me. It could be just that they, you know, I could give, because like I've got, I don't know, 4 physios, let's say. So one of them, I could say, right, you look after Twitter, you look after Instagram. When I say look after, you know, just you have to put out, I don't know, 3 posts a week and just answer people. Would that work for that?
Yes, as long as everybody is working to a strategy plan. because we have this with some of our other clients. So, for example, we've got a solicitors firm where there's 10 associates. And what happens is, before we came on board, they were all just putting content out, and it was just, there was no brand to it, there was no feel, there was no plan around what they were doing. So this is why a strategy is really, really good, because then that way you can kind of make sure that you are creating something that everybody knows what's going on. So for example, it might be, right, so this is our focus for the month of June. And then each week you would break that down into what you kind of want to look at. So you might have a target message that you want to promote, but then each week you would break that down, and then everybody's got to kind of make sure that they're kind of on the same song sheet, basically. Otherwise it can get a little bit messy.
Okay, so with the time taken, how can you do it where, because I'm not scared of social media in certain respects, but I don't, even in my personal space, I'm not a Facebook poster and what have you. You know, I just, if I want to tell my friends things, I do, and what have you. I wouldn't really post stuff. So from the point of the business going forward, I don't want to create myself another job where it's only me, I can do it, and then I go on holiday and I haven't got someone to do it, and there's all that stuff, right? So how can I do it where I am able to replace myself or have other people involved in it where it isn't just me?
So that's just using a scheduler. So that would just be kind of creating a scheduler, which you've got in Final Sketches, adding everything onto it, and then just scheduling it there. And then everybody's got access to that, and they can see what's going out. They can see what times things are going out as well. And then people can, as long as you've got a plan, we use, like, for example, I don't do a lot of my social media. I do my Facebook, but I've got someone that looks after my Instagram. I've got someone that looks after TikTok. I've got someone that looks after LinkedIn. So for that purpose, we have Trello. So we use a Trello board, and then everything is on there. So we know exactly what we're talking about for the month. That's then broken down into weeks, and then that's broken down into days, so that they know exactly what's going out on what platform, what the message is for that day, what that message is for that week, what that focus is for the month.
Right. So does that mean that they adopt your sort of voice, if you like, or you've already done it
And
and
that's no. So my team are really, really good at, because they're trained by me, so they're really good at picking up my voice and my tone. So, and most of the content that we have is recycled and repurposed, so they know exactly how I talk and how I kind of put things across. And we have it all in there. So all the posts that we create, all the images that we create are in our Trello board, so we know exactly. So we have months going through from January to December, and in each week we have all the content in there, we have all the wording, so that if I turn around and say to someone, right, next week I want a post put out about the mastermind, they know just to go in, look for the mastermind content, and then they can pull stuff out from there. They can use the images, and then it can go out.
right. Okay. So I think
Because
the thing is
this
when, go on.
the problem a lot of people have, they think that they've got to create 365 bits of different content for the whole year, and you haven't at all. You just stick to the same, because people need to see things 27 times
Yeah,
before
of
they
course.
trust and buy it. So if you are putting out different things all the time, you're not putting that message across. So it's about making sure that you do save the content and you repurpose it, like testimonials, what is going on behind the scenes, offers that you might have on, or prices, or it might be that we've got availability in the diary for this week. Book your appointment, because we've got a rare opportunity where we've got appointments available, or we're doing this. But you need to break it down so that you're looking at structures around, telling people what it is that you do. So it's writing the list down of all the services, all the products that you offer, ways that people can book through you, ways that people can find out what you do. So your website, have you got any lead magnets? What are you doing? So there's this big kind of plan that you need to have and write down everything.
Right. That all sounds like it's all based around what we do and sales, but I was hoping to be more, um, you know, serving rather than selling, so that, because am I right in saying that if you haven't established yourself online and no one's seeing it, you can put stuff out there and no one's going to see it. So it's a case of trying to get people on board and have really good content, and then people naturally click a link that's maybe got a lead magnet or something. So you're putting out stuff rather than just, oh, this week we've got a booking or we've got this and this, which I've done in the past. I'd rather be saying, you know, there's this new treatment for this, and has anyone read about it? And, you know, I don't know, something that they can learn, or this a hack or something, and then they naturally think, oh, I wonder who she is, and then they look and then they start finding lead magnets, and then they come into our world, rather than directly saying, oh, we've got an appointment, or we're now doing this service, or we're now doing that. I'm not saying occasionally do that, but
you need to do both. It's a 50-50. You need to do it, because the problem is not everybody will see all of your posts. You're only going to get a small percentage that will see your posts, and you'll get lurkers rather than commenters. So you need to make sure that you are having this 50-50 balance of putting out posts that are going to tell them about what you offer, as well as posts that are going to educate them and support them in different ways as well, because you'll get a lot of people that won't ever use you, won't ever come to you, because all they want is the free stuff. And then you will get your ideal client that will come through, but they need to know what you do first. And it's really hard. We think that because we're on social media and we've got websites and we've got lead magnets, that everybody knows what we do. And it isn't, because one person could. So, for example, I've been marketing my event that I'm running in November since February. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and she said, oh, I didn't know about that. And it's been on social media dozens of times. So it was like, oh, I'm going to, we had a conversation about it. Oh, great, I'm going to book onto that. So we can't always presume that everybody sees everything. So it's really important to make sure that you are telling people that you have got appointments available, because also if they are following you, it might be that they might go, oh, do you know what? I'm not feeling great today. I could actually do with that appointment. I've got the time. So it's about making sure, and you don't necessarily have to put them out in posts. You can use them as stories. So every day you could put something out in your stories with availability for the week or tomorrow, or what appointments you've got over the next 3 days.
yeah,
It's how you use your social media to put all of these messages
got you.
across.
I
But
think
you,
with all that, where it falls down for me is I've done a basic Facebook ad in the past, and I can do a post and what have you. However, things keep changing. So obviously I know I can see Facebook lives, and I know I can see all these different things, but I don't quite get, like, how can I say? It's very disjointed, my knowledge. So I'm thinking, I know I could go on and probably work out how to do that, but then I'm thinking, so where does that get seen? And then I'm thinking, well, if I do a video, like, you've got different tabs where you've got events and other things, and it sits under it, and I don't quite know how that works. So there's a lot of the bits I don't know how they work. So I lose confidence because I'm not sure where it's going and what's happening with it, or if I've pressed the right buttons.
Mhm.
And yeah, do you see what I'm saying? So I know that there's lives and there's other things, but there's probably things that are there and I don't know. And there's different, as I say, you can have different tabs. And I've tried to do a group before, and that didn't work. I didn't know what I was doing. And do you know what I'm saying? It gets a bit muddly.
Yeah, and this is why it's best to kind of work with what you do know and then build up from there. Because if you start kind of going, oh, okay, well, I need to do this, but I have no understanding. I'm working with a franchise at the moment, and a lot of them don't know how to do reels. So before they started working with me, they've been panicking about how to create all these amazing reels. And I just asked the question, why are you focusing on spending hours and hours of time every day to create one reel? Or because someone told us that we'd make thousands of pounds if we did reels. I went, but you're not doing anything else on your social media. So you need to have a mixture and stop focusing on things you don't know how to do and focus on the things that you do. Because then once you've mastered those and they become easy and you're doing them every day, you can then start thinking about doing reels, and I'll show you how to do them really quickly so that you're not spending hours every single day. But there is this almighty panic when we're on social media thinking we've got to do this, we've got to do that, we've got to do this. And that's why I work to my threefold method, that everything, if you just stick to things of threes, it's managing it and then building up from there. So you over the 3 month period, you work on building everything up, because you can't do everything. Unless you pay an agency thousands of pounds each month, you cannot physically do everything, because everybody will just get burnt out or they won't know what's going on. So it's about building it up over a 3-month period where you kind of go, okay, let's look at this. Now we're going to start looking at stories. Now let's look at reels. And the other thing is as well, it's about consistency. And so I get people that say to me, oh, okay, I'm going to do videos. All right, it's great. How many are you going to do? Oh, I'll do one a month. There's no point. Absolutely no point. If you're going to do videos or lives, you need to be doing them once a week. And then how is that going to work? Are you going to do a live? Is it going to go on YouTube? Are you going to do a TikTok? Are you going to do a reel? So it's about knowing exactly what you want to do, but then that's looking at your limitations, because you've still got to create all the content. Even if someone is doing it for you, you've still got to create everything.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm not freaked out about content. I've always got loads to say. I could think of loads of stuff. Plus, I've also got a platform called CoKinetic, which generates loads of content that it automated. I did a lot of my social media stuff. I don't know if you've looked at it. There were loads of posts with links and stuff about articles and whatever, and that was all generated through this platform. And so I'm not worried about having content. I could do that. I think the thing is it's like also knowing where there's going to, so let's say I can embrace learning new stuff. I'm not worried about that. If I can see what I'm doing and I know the point, like with the if you said, for example, physiotherapists in general are not on TikTok and you can get a really good reach because it's not saturated or whatever, then maybe that would be the case of doing it. But then it's also considering my target market there as well. So, that's another thing to consider. So how much do you consider where your audience is versus where there's less noise, or where you can get better cost-effective reach or ads or whatever? I mean, how do you sort of balance that out?
So first of all, your audience are going to be everywhere. We spend up to 7 hours a day on our phones, and majority, if your audience is in the UK, they are going to be looking at the main platforms, which are TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So I always say to people, don't focus on that. Okay, focus on the platforms that you're actually comfortable on, and you've got a good following on. So on your Facebook page, how many followers have you got on your Facebook page?
I don't know, but I can look. That's not the right one. I pulled Facebook up. That's probably on this one. Bear with. Where's my Facebook? I'm one of these people. I have way too many tabs open. I did pull my. Maybe it's on. That's really weird. Let me just change it, because I went onto my Facebook 2 minutes ago and set it all up. Now it's gone on to one-to-many. Why has it gone on there? Here, right. Okay, so followers 242.
Right. Okay. So that's then and then it's like building that up from there as well. So you've got to think about how you're going to grow, because I presume that you have a local area that you work with, or do you work nationally?
No, local.
Okay, so again, it's how you're going to grow that following. So are you going to run ads? What kind of keywords are you going to use? Because there's only 2 ways that you can grow a Facebook page. That is by inviting friends that you are connected with on Facebook, or running ads. You will get the odd organic growth depending on your content and how well your content is going out there. But it is a very, very slow burner. Facebook now.
I've never invited friends. I've never even bothered. See, that's what I'm saying. The good thing about this, if anything, is I haven't really pushed anything. So I could invite friends. The other thing is that the reason I want to get into potentially using ads is because when I get my funnel set up with funnel sketches and things, and I've got a lead magnet, and I've got a course that then doesn't limit me to my local geography, it's wider, then I'm looking to try and get people into the top of that funnel by using Facebook ads, because I've created a quiz that I'm going to use. So I think it's things like that I probably want to be thinking about paying for.
Yeah. So they would become your paid ads, your lead magnets. But then it's deciding, how do you use that within email automation? Are you going to use ManyChat on Facebook, on Instagram? So there's lots of things that you can do to help build that up. So for example, that's where your stories are going to come into it. And then that's where your reels are going to come in, and then your content on Instagram, because then you want people to DM you on Instagram. So it creates a ManyChat, so that then you can get them to download the email automation. Where's that email automation? Where's that download lead magnet coming from? If you're using funnel sketches, then you need to make sure you've got your email automation. What's the end goal? So for example, if you're sending someone a lead magnet, what is your end goal of that person? So do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to sign up? Or is it that you just want them to follow you and be on your mailing list?
I think ideally that they go on to either do a course, which would be great because then it doesn't involve the face-to-face, and or if they're local, maybe go on to face-to-face stuff, or maybe one-to-one stuff like this. I mean, maybe I can do some stuff one-to-one on Zoom, which I've not really done for a long time since lockdown, but that's also a possibility. So I'm not sure how, because I've not done those things, I'm not sure how it's going to be received. So there'll be an element of test and measure and see what the uptake is, and then I can sort of think, actually I'll put more into that later on. So that's a sort of a later step, but I've got these ideas about at least getting out there, getting known, having the courses and stuff, and then when people have done that, they might do a more advanced course, or they might actually say I want to work one-to-one, or all that sort of stuff, a bit like what you do, just the different stuff, health stuff.
Exactly. And this is the thing. Whenever you're creating a lead magnet, you need to think about what your end goal is. So for example, if I just give you an idea, so we're just about to launch our Social Media Alchemist Academy, and we're targeting one of the people, like sectors we're targeting is VAs. So I've created a lead magnet that is going to be targeted for VAs to download. So we will advertise that. We will run a paid ad. They will download it. Then the idea is they'll then go into our email system, and then the email automation is then going to be upselling the academy to them. So they've got the free download, now become certified, and then an accredited social media manager. So you can do that by buying this course. And then that's what we're going to kind of be doing from there. But we have a different audience, which is mums with children with special needs. So we have to come up with a different lead magnet that is going to interest them, about maybe how they can start their own business. And here's the top 10 tips to starting your own social media business. And then when we've brought them in from there, we're then going to be saying to them, right, it's great having this, but actually if you were certified or accredited, you'll be able to earn more money, you're going to get more clients. So the email automation is then going to upsell them from there. So it's about having that end goal. It's great people creating lead magnets and all of this, but there's no point in creating a lead magnet unless you physically know what that end goal is going to be.
Sure. Yeah. So I think that I've got some ideas of end goals, but I need to start one thing, like one course, which is my plan with the thing, and see what uptake or there isn't, or there is or there isn't. So that will be where I'm trying to generate, because I've actually bought a domain for which is Women's Health Hub. So it'll be all women-based stuff. So my first course is about stress incontinence, but the others will be about menopause and osteoporosis and a whole load of other stuff to do with women. And I will bolt those on when I eventually do that. So it's getting an audience for that side of things. Also, we've got quite a specialist post-mastectomy rehab course that we're setting up. So it's quite niche. But the reason I'm doing that is because that means that I don't only rely on having brick and mortar and staff I've got to manage to actually deliver appointments. I've also got this other stuff as well, so that if I then improve the business and sell the business, I could still keep the courses and the online stuff, and I've still got that as an income stream, you see.
Okay, so from that point of view, what you have to think about as well, whatever your audience is, so it's good to have an idea of how many followers you've got and how many connections you've got on every single one, because you're only going to get that on average when you're doing a launch or you're promoting something, you'll get about 2.3% of your audience buying from you. And this is why it's really important to start growing that audience.
Yeah. which is what I mean, if you know Kerry and Final Sketches, obviously you do, you'll know Lisa probably, and OTM and all that stuff. Yeah, one to many. So I'm doing it as a second time. I did it the course a couple of years ago, but exactly that point what you're saying. So it's they were saying about you've got to build this audience first, which is where I'm starting. So I've got to get people initially engaged. And as I say, every person that we've got following and doing things, they've done off their own volition. I've never asked anyone to follow. I've never asked them to share. I've never asked friends. I've done nothing. So, you know, this is the absolute basic.
Okay. So to grow your audience, it's picking the social media platforms that you want to use. It's getting that content out on a regular basis. It's getting stories out. It's doing lives. It's doing reels. It's being visible, whether it's face-to-face local stuff. So if you've got any networking, expos going on, anything that's kind of within, like, think about how far people would travel to be with you. But then when you start talking about the courses, that then becomes national. So what you need to be doing now is, yes, you do focus on the local stuff for the in-person, but because you are building this one-to-many program, you need to now start growing things that are national and not just focusing on the local. You want to start doing everything now. So you need to, yes, there is an element where you need to get this message across. And because you want to build that, you need to build your reputation. So this is where you need to get you across as well, and your face behind the business, because at the end of the day, people will buy your courses because of you, not your business because of you.
Yeah. And this is the worry about getting people to help, because I know I'm not going to be able to do all this on my own. But I also want to try and involve my team so that it's not all on me, because, like, for example, there will be some of the team that will help, not necessarily the courses, I'll do the courses, but they can also deliver these things in person and they have the experience. So if I can involve the team, that would be good. But and I could even, I mean, some of them behind the scenes, I've got admins as well. If I've got a very directive plan, then I could even get a marketing assistant of some sort, or an assistant. I mean, I've got some work experience people coming this next month who are very IT literate and stuff, and social media literate. I mean, they're young people. I could even say, I'm not going to say to them, right, do it and not have a directive. But if I said, right, I want you to put this here and do that there and this and that. So if I've got a clear plan for people, and we've got a sort of almost like an ops manual related to social media, so that somebody, like, let's say I'm not well or whatever, and okay, I know I'm the face of the business, but I could get somebody else in and say, right, here's the ops manual, and they could say, right, well, I know I'm going to have to post here twice, do this is the sort of theme for the year. You know, they've got some instruction booklet, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. It's all about having procedures and processes in place. And that's one of the things that all businesses need if they've got more than one person in them. And even people that are just one man bands, I always say to them, make sure you've got your processes and your procedures in place now, because it will save you a job when you start bringing on team, no matter what that looks like. So from your kind of thing, you need to kind of, I think the next step now is to kind of go, okay, what social media platforms are we going to use? What does that content look like? Got Final Sketches, so we can schedule everything through there. Just need to connect everything, make sure it's all on there, and then you've got your team then have access to everything.
So when you pre-schedule things, which I've done in my Co-Kinetic before, and I've used other things to do it, I can't remember what they were called, but schedulers. I was told that the platforms don't like it, and then you don't get the reach if you haven't directly posted.
It's a myth, absolute myth. It's a small amount, but then it's better to have. I mean, think if you weren't scheduling, would you actually do it? No.
Right.
So scheduling is going to save you time. It's going to get it out there. So it's a myth. It's the same with people saying to me, "Oh, you're not supposed to put links in your text. You're supposed to put them in the comments." Absolute myth.
Okay. So therefore, as you know about funnel sketches, I guess the thing is, and I gave you access, didn't I think, to it. to see if I've linked up my social platforms properly. I'm thinking, and I know you said you'd have a look at my stuff and see if you could find me. And I don't know what you found or what you discovered on your audit in relation to what you would use or what you wouldn't use.
I think the thing is, you're not going to know. I can. So with funnel sketches, I can have a look and go, yeah, okay, you've got all these platforms added. However, I won't know whether they're connected properly until you start scheduling.
Right. Okay.
So, because funnel sketches doesn't tell you. So if you have connected it to funnel sketches, but funnel sketches isn't a tool we use for scheduling, because it's just not reliable for what we need as a business. So what you need to think of
so what if
is,
you're saying that, why would I use it then and not something else?
because it's a scheduler, it's fine. I mean, we schedule to over 100 social media platforms. It's not reliable enough for us.
Right. Okay, but it'd be
So
fine with what I need to do.
yeah, you just need to keep an eye on it, because sometimes what can happen is the platforms can disconnect. So if the platforms disconnect, you need to make sure that you're aware that they've disconnected. So make sure that everything is, you've got your email address, so that if it does disconnect, you get an email to basically then tell you that you are you've got to reconnect it again.
Okay. Bit
And
like
that's one of the
Xero with
things
your
that
bank
we can't,
feed.
yeah, we can't afford to have that with our business. So we have a system that doesn't do that.
Right.
But
Okay.
I pay hundreds of dollars a month for that.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So one of my key questions as well, so I get about picking the channels, but one of my key questions was, of the channels that I've got, they feel messy because I get confused about, I've got my personal Facebook, but then I've got the work Facebook, and I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I'm posting as me or as my works page, or whether I link the two or I keep it separate. Or like with Instagram, I can't remember if I'm me or I think I'm the business, but it's me. And you know, when it's like, I'm
Yeah.
sure that big businesses don't have to have all their personal accounts linked to everything, you know.
No, they most probably don't, but it will depend on what their product is and what their business is. But because you are you and you are going on to do this one to many, you need to think about who your target audience is. So if you want people to buy your one to many, you've got to establish which way is the best way forward. Do you promote it as your business, or do you promote it as you? It's more than likely you're going to have to promote it as you, because people will trust and buy a person more than they
Yeah.
will a business.
And can I not be the face of a business? So for example, do everything as the business through the business page and all the rest of it, but with me doing it, or not?
Right. Okay. So let's go back a few steps. So your personal profile, it has to be you. So anything that you're sharing on the business page, you then need to make a decision if that's what you share on your personal profile. And I think this is having the clear directive around what your kind of messaging is. And when you talk about doing the one to many and having these programs available, when are you kind of looking to have those launched?
At some point later this year. I mean, they're in
Okay. So
progress now.
this is your opportunity then to build that platform that that is going to allow you to build you as that profile, so that when you start putting them out there, people will know exactly who you are. You've built that reputation, you've got a successful business, or you've got two successful businesses, you've now launched this. They see the credibility behind it, and that's what you need to be doing over the next 6 months.
Right. So if I've got my personal page and I've got the business page, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is that I need to do most of my posting on the business page as me in order for people to get to know me, or you're saying I have to do it on my personal page for them to get to know me?
Yes, you are going to have to build your personal page, because that's where you'll grow, that's where you'll connect with people. You need to think about who your target audience is going to be for this one to many. Exactly how Lisa is kind of teaching you through one to many. It's about building up your profile. So who is your target audience going to be? Then you need to start building those on your personal profile. then they're going to see that you have a business. They're going to see that you have two businesses. And then what you put on your business pages is going to then come across on your personal profile, so that you are building this message, you're building this reputation, you're building this credibility. So then when you launch these courses, they will then know to buy from you, because you're going to have this big, massive launch, whether it be a boot camp or a challenge or a lead magnet between now and launching. Because in order to do your one-to-many and get a good launch, you've got this funnel, and in this funnel you've got to get, so say for example, if you want 100 people signing up to your course, if you're only going to sell, so normally the conversion rate when you're doing a launch is around, so however many people will sign up to your launch, you will get around 25% sign up. Out of that 25%, you'll get another 25% that will watch what you do, and out of that 25%, you're going to get anything from 10 to 25% of those people buying. So if you want to sell to 100 people, you've got to start building all of this up now, so that you've got 1,000 people joining your launch when you launch.
Right. So when you've got your personal page, which, to be fair, on my Facebook page will have all of my friends and other people like that, and then you start becoming just a business through your personal page, then you can't ever use your, not that I do, but you can't ever use your social media there then as a personal page, really, because
you can. I do every single day. If you go and have a look at my, if you go and look at my Facebook personal profile, I use it for personal use and I use it for business, and I have done for the last 8 years.
And is that the way forward then?
Yeah, it is, and that's why Facebook have introduced professional mode, because they want you to build your businesses on your personal profiles. Turn it into professional mode will make your personal profile a business page.
So should I do that then?
Yes, that's what you need to be doing.
So how do I do that? Turn it into professional mode.
You go onto your Facebook on desktop. On your profile, you'll see 3 dots. If you click on those 3 dots, it will give you the option to turn it into professional mode, and you can turn it into professional mode from there.
Right. So what's the difference then? Once it becomes professional mode, what does that do?
You can run ads, you can see your insights, you can put a link on stories, you'll have followers rather than friends, you can have more than 5,000 followers, whereas you can only have 5,000 friends. So it just means that you can grow it and you can use it like a business page. You can just grow it a lot quicker.
Right. So what happens to my friends if everyone becomes followers?
They're still there. They just become followers as well as friends.
Do you have friends and followers on that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So there's no disadvantage then. So what's the advantage of having a business page separately? If you can make your personal one a business one, why do you need a business page?
Because you're still going to need to promote Bluebell physiotherapy.
Ah, right. Okay. So it's going to be me and what I'm doing professionally, which may be Bluebell Physio, but maybe anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it might be retreats, it might be whatever I'm personally doing. And then the Bluebell page is the Bluebell page. And then the veterinary physio page is the veterinary physio page. And the women's health stuff is the women's health page. So you can have as many business pages as you like for the different niches, but on your professional profile, that's you're everything that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And then what you might want to do is bring in other things. So for example, when you're looking at your social media, you need to be thinking about the content that you share on the business pages. You might kind of go, oh, do you know what? That actually would look quite nice on my personal profile.
Right. So you don't think there's a danger then on your professional personal page that if you talk about these different things, that you don't appeal to your niche because there's so many different facets to what you do?
No, because it's all going to come together, isn't it? It's all going to come together as one big picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So you've got all these different pieces. So, okay, so for me, I do social media coaching. I run a social media and marketing agency. I run a social media academy. I have events that I run. I have strategy days that I run. What else do I do? I'm an advocate for children's mental health. So all of these things go on my personal profile. I've got different business pages as well. So I will take stuff from the business page, but it doesn't dilute my messaging because I'm clear about telling people what it is that I do.
Right. Okay. So,
and that's what you've got to come across with.
Right. So then with LinkedIn, so I'm thinking doing Facebook, LinkedIn, and Insta, because you said about 3. My primary being probably Facebook, then maybe LinkedIn, and then my third one being Insta. Does that sound feasible?
Yeah, I would stick with those 3 to start off with. And what you put on Facebook, you can put on LinkedIn, and then you can kind of share across on Instagram. But remember, with Instagram, the message has to kind of be in the image. It's the image that tells the story on Instagram, not the words. Whereas with Facebook and LinkedIn, it's the wording that tells the story.
Right. Okay. So with LinkedIn then, so we've sorted out the Facebook that's going to be the professional me page, whatever. So with LinkedIn, I've got the me page and the business page, I believe.
Yeah,
Is it the same situation as Facebook? Should I
yeah,
deal with it the same?
exactly the same.
Right. So the business page on LinkedIn, I should have one for each facet of business. So one for the
You
human, one
do.
for the animal, whatever.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
on the LinkedIn me page, I'm more about me and everything I do as a whole.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So as far as I think I've got all that. Um, I'll need to think this through and go on the platforms and make sure I'm doing this right, probably.
The only thing you can't do with your personal profile on Facebook is you can't schedule to it through Final Sketches. There's no platform out there that you can schedule. But once you're in professional mode, you can schedule through your phone on your personal profile.
Right. And so do you manage your professional personal page through Meta?
No, you can't. You can't. There's no scheduling facility apart from on the mobile. So you go into the post, you create the post on your mobile, and then it will give you an option to schedule.
Right. So where do I find the instructions on all how to do this? Because obviously you're
How
telling
to
me snippets.
how
Um,
to do what? Sorry.
so like, for example, you've told me how to make my personal page a professional page, right? Now
Yeah.
you've said I can schedule, but I go on some mobile. What I'm thinking is
Yes. So
when I'm not speaking to you, where's the how-tos on a lot of this stuff? Do I just Google
um
it or?
no, I mean it's really easy. I mean all you would do is you open up your mobile, your Facebook app on your mobile, you put your post in your photo like you do normally, and then when you click, it will give you the option to click on next, and then it will give you the option just to schedule it for later, either post now or schedule later.
Right. So then you'd go in and you sit there and you'd make loads of different posts that you would schedule
Yeah,
later or whenever.
yeah, and you can do it up for a month.
Okay. Right. Cool. So what else would I need to do then to tidy up and create this strategy? So I've said to you about the 3 platforms that I
Yeah.
think would be
Okay.
useful.
Right.
Does that
Okay. So
mean
on
I
your per
completely ignore the rest, or I just do
at
minimal
the
on?
moment, I would ignore the rest at the moment.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Fact, get these up and running first, get used to doing these, get consistent with doing these, and then go from there. So with your personal profile, your banner you need to work on your banner for your personal profile. So your banner is your cover photo. At the moment, you've got you with a picture of a horse that you've screenshotted from your phone. So when I'm looking at that, all I can't see you, I can only see the top of the horse. So what you want to do, if you look at my social media, you'll see that my banner tells people exactly what it is that I do, and they can click here and it gives them more information on how they can work with me. So ideally, you need to recreate a banner that tells people exactly what it is that you do.
Right.
Your
So what do
profile
I
pic,
want on my banner then? Because obviously I've got me on a horse, because obviously that's
yeah.
my background, and then my face. And I've got
So
my
if you,
name and in brackets the business. And I don't know if that's right. I've always had that, so people associate me with the business.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. But the picture, when I'm looking at your profile, I can't see you on a horse. As I said, all I can see is the top
Oh,
of the
right, yeah.
horse's head and your body. So you need to create that so that it's a size that will fit in. So you need to use Canva
Yeah.
to create a banner that is a Facebook banner size so that
Okay.
it will
And
fit.
what do you think I should have on my banner based on what I've told you so far?
Well, you can either, so I would be highlighting exactly what it is that you do. So you just highlight all the things that you do, and then if you want, you can then press click here, and then people can then go in and actually look to see where you are.
Where's the click here? Sorry.
So when you create a banner, you have a little, you just add a little graphic that says click here. And then when you click on the banner, when you look at the right, and this has to be done on desktop, you can't do it on mobile, you'll see. So if you click on your banner now, if you look, it tells you your name and the date that you uploaded that photo. So in there, you'll see a little edit button. That edit button allows you to add more text. So then you can add lots of text.
It just
talking
says
about
edit cover photo. Is that right? Is that where you want
no,
me to
you
look?
want to no, just click on the photo itself.
Right, I've clicked the photo.
Yeah, and it's opened it up fully. And then let me share my screen so that you can see exactly what I mean. Right, okay. So this is your profile. This is what I see. Okay. So when I click on this now, in this box here, you'll have a button. Can you see the box on the right hand side?
Yeah, I can see a box on the right.
You'll have an edit button there. You can put wording in that.
Oh yeah, I've got that. So edit.
Let me show you. Let me show you mine. So this is exactly how mine is. So as you can see here, this is my cover photo. So it tells people exactly how I help them. I click on that button there, and then it goes in and tells them all the ways that I can help them through my membership, my academy, my agency, my strategy days, the whole lot.
Right, and that's where I put in that button bit then.
Yeah, you need to create a
instead
banner.
of having just my picture, you want my picture with something overlaid that's got some wording on like you've done.
Yeah, exactly. You can use this photo, but you need to make sure that you're in the photo.
Yeah, but I think also this photo doesn't really describe what I do enough. So
no. So you need to create something. Then with reference to, you need to add your business pages in here as well.
So
you've only got one business page in there at the moment. You need to add both.
How do I add that?
So if you go into the edit, you'll see an edit, and then you can add your business pages in from there. So if I go to mine,
so if I go there, oh yeah, edit details, yeah,
and then you can add your business pages in.
So I can have as many on there as I want.
Only have the business pages that you're using. Yeah.
Okay, and what else do I need to do on the front?
What else do you need to do? You've got the website there. So if you've got all other websites, add the other websites in as well. And then I'd add your Instagram handles as well, and your LinkedIn.
Right, okay. Now, a lot of that other stuff on there about schools and colleges, is that necessary, or shall I get rid, or?
I would remove it. You want that information as less as possible.
Yeah, so it's got add bio. Should I add bio? What
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
like it's only 100. Right, so what do I put in the bio that's 100 characters?
So you need to tell people exactly what it is that you do, but you need to do it so that you're using it within 100 characters. You don't need to put links, you don't need to put hashtags. You just tell people how you're going to help them, or what's going to happen if they come to you.
So how and who I can help.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, okay, I've got that.
Okay.
Fine.
Now
so
go on. With reference to your posts need to be laid out slightly different as well. So when we create posts, we want, every time we create a new sentence, that becomes a new paragraph. You need to add emojis as well, and then make sure it's all laid out. So if I show you mine, go down. So this is a post. This is how the layout needs to be for a post, because people scan read, and they can't scan read when it's all bunched up together. So you need to lay it out so that people can scan read.
Right.
Okay. Whereas at the moment, and this applies to your business page as well, I've had a look at the posts on the business page. What ideally you need is you need more content on there as well. So if I now go to your business page, let me show you what I mean. So with your business page, just going back again with your banner, you can have, so you've got that there, that's brilliant. But again, add emojis in there and break it down. But for this, because this is the banner, you don't need to be asking questions. The banner should be giving people information.
Right. And it also feels as well, though, like that's not an appropriate. I mean, I changed that banner recently, but it doesn't feel like it's an appropriate banner, or is it? Because I just thought it looks different. People might.
No.
Okay. So how would you change that?
So that needs to, your services, it needs to say exactly what it is that you do. So it needs to have your logo on there. It needs to highlight exactly the services that you offer and then you could have a button there that says click here to find out more about booking. And then in this section, you would have the details.
There's a book now button. When you go back, there's already a book now button there, just below the picture.
Yeah, but what you want to be doing, so think about your business page. You've only got 3 seconds to tell people what it is that you do.
Right.
So this banner needs to be telling people, like when you drive down the road and you see a billboard banner, that's exactly what this needs to be.
So it needs to be a bit like the other Canva picture with my face, but some words and a clicky bit.
Yeah, or a picture of your premises, or it might be a picture of the team. It might be a picture of one of the treatment rooms.
Because that's what I had before this. I mean, I don't know if it stores it, but the picture I had before this was the front entrance. No, it wasn't that entrance, but it was one of the front entrances, whatever was the thing, inside, and I've got treatment room pictures and stuff. I mean, is that the sort of thing you mean? Oh, that was it. The one before was these entrance ones.
Not really, because they're not the right size. They're not the right size. They need to be. Let me show you mine. Let me show you my banners just to kind of give you an idea, because it's about the appeal. You've got to remember, you want people to come to you that have got disposable income, that are fed up with the NHS. Your banner is going to be the photo that's going to help them pick you over somebody else. And it's the first impressions. And that's the thing that you've got to think of. So here are my banners. They're slick. They give people the information that they need. So here's this one here, very, very slick, tells them exactly what I'm doing.
So something like that one before that one, with the sort of star in it, whatever one that was, is that something where, and this is where I need to decide that one. So that appeals to me, that one. So I could have that and then I could put like that sort of less formal text type stuff, right? But that's got to then be consistent throughout how we present ourselves. And I'm not really sure.
It's got to be your brand. Yeah.
So this is where it's all right, me doing a picture and a banner and all the things we're saying, but there's got to be some consistency across platforms and things. And I'm not sure how best to do that or how best to present myself.
Yeah, because at the moment you don't have a brand. There's no brand. I'm not seeing any brand come through this because there's no brand in your banner. The logo's very blurry. And then scroll down, there's no branding in your images. You're not creating that brand. If I go to, and this is the thing that you need to think about. You need to think about what your branding is. So if I go to Instagram, in fact, I can do it on Facebook. Let me show you on Facebook when I talk about brand. A brand is so important. It's massively important. If I show you all my photographs, okay, so these are all the photographs that have gone on my timeline. As you can see there, I'm building a brand. There's a photograph of me. If there isn't a photograph of me, there's branding. That's my color branding. I'm making sure that I'm bringing all of this through, so people associate my colors and my branding with me. And that's what is really important here. And the problem is at the moment, I'm not seeing any of that. And if you want people to, hold on, I'm just going to go into my Instagram because it's easy to show you
I
on
think
my
the
Instagram.
mistake I've made is I think that if I put my logo on it, I've branded it.
No, you
Which is
haven't.
probably
No,
not the
not at
thing.
all. No, you've got to have those photos of you. So the professional photos of you, you need to have all your color branding, making sure that you're creating this information on Canva
And do you
so
do
that
that
it's
in
really easy.
Canva? You put your
Yep, you can
pictures in
use
Canva
Canva.
and make them
Yeah, we use everything on Canva. So this is my
right.
Instagram, and can you see how we're building a brand?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's so important. It really is. Because at the moment, when I'm looking at your business page, I'm not seeing that brand come through. I'm looking at that going, well, I don't, hold on, let me go to your business page again. I don't know, I know what I'm getting, but I can't see, it's about how you come across as well. So I think
Right.
and when you change that branding, and your branding is, so you've got some element of branding which is like, you're kind of using this branding a little bit, but these images, they're the wrong size for Facebook as well, because can you see here in your grid, when
Yeah.
people go to look at your photos, they're not getting the full message because it's not in the right sizing either.
Got you. Right.
And it's very, you've got some brand in there, don't get me wrong, you have got some, but I just don't feel it's the right brand for you.
Right. What do you feel? Because the thing is, most of this content has come from that platform I told you about. So they've sort of
Yeah,
made the style. So there's a similar style, as you can see, going through.
yeah,
And I thought that was easier so that I could at least get stuff out regularly, which is sort of what
yeah.
I've done. But I see what you're saying. I don't feel it's me either. I'm not sure
No,
what
it's
me
not.
is, but I don't feel that's it.
I
Um,
think you need to have an appointment with a branding expert and speak to them and just have a session with them and just work out, because it doesn't represent the business. There's no consistency to it. If your target audience is females, your marketing is very male orientated
well,
as
it's
well.
this is the difficulty I have, right? It is females for the OTM course stuff, but it's not across
Mm,
the board. We treat males and females. This is the thing,
okay.
and it's always a thing between. At the end of the day, any age person, although we see older people, but any age person can have an injury or a bad back or whatever, and it can be male and female. So we don't. It's
Mm,
hard to then niche that because you could serve anybody that could have a problem. So what do?
yeah.
Do you pick like one group of people just because,
No,
or
no, you can do everyone. I mean, my clients are female and male. So you can pick your branding, but the idea around your branding is to make sure that then when people see your branding, they associate it with you. But the thing is with the images, I mean, the images are wrong. And then with reference to the content, so if this system is creating this content for you, it's not creating enough content. It's not laying it out in the right way. It's not adding emojis, and this is why there's no engagement on the posts, because they're not
but this is the
triggering
thing.
with.
This is exactly what I thought, and my worry was that I pay this money for this, and I get the stuff, and it goes out there and it looks fine to me. But as you say, nothing comes back, and I thought it's because it's been posted. You can probably see on there somewhere it says co-kinetic, like
No, I
not
won't
me. I
see
don't know.
that.
It's
Only you will. Only
oh
you see
right,
that as
okay.
an admin. Nobody that's looking at your page knows where that content has come from or who has
Oh
scheduled
right,
it.
that's good.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
phew.
So, but what I'm kind of the problem is, because what's happening is, because there's not enough content there, there's no emojis, then Facebook's not picking it up, they're not registering it. And because
Right,
you've only got 242 likes, you're only going to reach around 20% of your audience anyway,
right. Okay.
because that's
Why
all a
does it
business
say
page will
price
reach.
range in dollars? That's not right, is it?
Um,
Price range
it,
in dollars.
it will just depend on your settings.
Okay. So where would you start with all this then?
Um, Personally, I'd speak to a branding expert and start getting some branding in place. Um,
Is
Definitely
it,
look
I
at
mean,
shop.
based on what you've seen so far, would now be a
Mm,
time, should I rebrand? Should I just change it all?
yeah,
Change the logo, change
definitely.
everything?
I would do a massive rebrand because you've got 6 months before you start launching everything. So I'd do a rebrand now.
But that would mean that the business that's been the physio business for like 25 years is suddenly going to have a rebrand, which is fine. But is that going to throw people off, or is that not?
No, no, not at all. Look at John Lewis. John Lewis had a rebrand recently. It didn't affect their sales. If anything, it actually created more because their branding became more in line with their the audience that they wanted to approach. And people saw it and kind of went, I really like this new rebrand.
Okay.
A rebrand is never bad for any business. If anything, it's always it's a positive thing.
Right. But
it will give you.
You'd just keep the same name, but you change the logos and all the colours and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a big announcement. You know, we're having a whole rebrand. You know, we've got a new logo. We're going fresh because we're updating. You know, the logo that you've got in here as well. You know, it's a tiny little square, and you're putting a square in a round peg, and it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I know it's the wrong size for that.
Yeah, so it's about making everything professional. So I would look at rebranding and then start thinking about the social media content.
Right. So when you said that we'd talk through all my stuff and you'd give me a strategy, how does that bit work?
Okay, so first thing I would do is look at your branding, see how you're going to do from there. And then with reference to the strategy, you need to think about what platforms you're going to use. So we've decided on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now you need to think about what content you're going to be posting. So how often are you going to be posting each week? And then what are you going to be posting? So you need to then break.
You make it sound like I'm going to decide that, but I'm asking you who know. I could pick a number out the area. I don't know myself. Twice a day. I mean, the point is
so what's your focus for next week? What do you want to focus on in your business for next week?
Well, we've got a new physio that could do with some clients, so I guess trying to get some more clients for him.
Okay, so you introduced a new physio. You then announce that his book is now open for making appointments. You put down what he specializes in. So you need to think about over the next week, depending on when he's starting, that is your strategy for next week. You need to make sure that you're making him feel special when he joins, so that you're getting him clients. Because I dare say you've said to him that when he joins, he'll have this bank of clients. So that's what your strategy is going to be. But then you need to build in things around how you help people. So you need to think about your strategy of being, do you want to put motivational quotes out? Are you going to be sharing tips and advice, which you do, because you've got those, you've got your myths, sharing behind the scenes. So what's going on in the clinics? Then you need to be sharing testimonials. I've not seen any testimonials on here, and people want to trust you. So you're not sharing any testimonials.
So would I grab those off Google reviews? I've got a few Google reviews.
Yeah, wherever you've got them. Facebook, Google reviews, screenshots that people have sent you. If people have sent you texts, emails, use all of them.
Okay.
And put them into a nice Canva graphic. But when it comes to your strategy, don't overthink it. Okay, don't think. So just work with a plan. So Monday, you might think to yourself, right, okay, Monday, we'll put a post out about our availability for the week. And then we might share like a motivational quote or something like that. Then Tuesday, you might share like a top tip or advice around how to, good posture or back, or it might be your myths that you share. Then Wednesday, you might share behind the scenes, or think about sharing articles that you've got as well. But make sure those articles are things that people are going to read. When it comes to social media, we're really, really lazy. So unless we know exactly what that article is about and and taking that time to read it, if I'm going to spend, because normally articles are anything between 4 and 6 minutes to read. I'm not going to spend 4 to 6 minutes reading an article unless I know I'm going to benefit from it. So in your text, you need to be saying exactly what the article's about, what you're going to get from it, and we would recommend reading this if you suffer with XYZ. You need to be sharing testimonials, and then you can share your myths or your fun facts, and then you need to be sharing what's going on in the clinics as well. So staff of the week, employee of the week, service of the week. What is your focus? And that is all your strategy
Right.
needs to be.
So
It's not
basically,
complicated.
what I'm hearing, just to clarify, is that you effectively, and I see a lot of this, but I always think, oh, is it a bit sort of twee, where somebody has like a, you know, a Monday madness and a Tuesday tip and a
Yeah,
whatever, and they have all this, and then you just rinse and repeat each week. So you basically do
exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to be doing because it's nice and easy. It's easy to do, and you're not overcomplicating it. You're making it really, really simple so that not only can you do it, but your team can do it. And then that way, what happens is you get into this lovely habit of actually, do you know what? This is really easy because 4 motivational quotes I can do all month. I can do the whole month of June right now. Have we got 4 top tips that we can share? Yeah. Have we got 4 testimonials? Yes, we have. And it just means that you can get ahead of yourself without thinking to yourself, oh my God, I don't know what I want to write about. And then anything that you do see or you think about, you just add it to your plan. And then as you add into your plan, you've just got more content that you can share as well. But I do feel that you do need this kind of rebrand before you
So
start kind of
so
looking at it all.
if I did that plan, like you're saying with the week, where do you fit in things like lives and stories and all that sort of stuff? Do you stick to the theme or do you just do random ones? Because there's so many different things that's where I feel like I'd almost like an instruction manual to say, right, based on what you've told me, do this, and this 3 times and this 3 times or whatever, you know, or this is the
Mm,
ideal. I might not be able to do that, but if you said, right, the ideal thing is, if you, like you said earlier, if you do one a month, it's pointless. So you need
yeah,
like one a week. So if you said to me, well, between 1 and 2 a week is like the gold standard or whatever it was. So like,
yeah.
let's say, in an ideal world, if I had time to do all these things, what would be the ideal? And then I'll try and work towards as much I can do that.
Mm. So ideally, you want to be posting every single day, at least once a day. You want to do a story every single day, and then
What
you
is a
want to be
story?
doing.
What should a story be? I mean, I know what a story is, but
So a story can be anything. It can be your post that you've put out for the day. It could be the fact that you've made a cup of tea for the whole team and you put that on, and you just put on, the team are having a break. Do you take breaks throughout the day? And then you can ask a question, yes or no. But the idea with stories is basically you're just sharing other elements of what's going on. They only last for 24 hours. So you can just put anything. You put anything
oh,
you
so
put at all.
it's like Snapchat.
Yeah, very similar to that. It might be that you turn up to work and you park the car, you see a beautiful flower. You might want to take a photograph of the flower and go, it was lovely to see this today. And that's what stories are all about. It's just quick snippets.
And
You
how
don't
long
have
are
to
they?
24 hours and 24
Yeah, but
hours,
when
that's how long they last.
how long is the post? Like how many seconds should you do for a story?
They're photos or videos.
So if you did a video, would you just do like
Um,
a couple of sentences or what is it?
so you can share videos on the stories, but again, you wouldn't create videos purposely for stories. You would create your video for your social media and then share it to your stories.
Right. So if I had a friend that I really admired their social media stuff, would
Hmm.
you are you able to look at it and go, they've done this, and this?
What do you mean? Sorry, I don't
Right.
I
So
don't
I've got a
understand the
friend who runs a
question.
business. It's a
Yeah.
nursery. She did it in the past. She's now set it up again. It's called Polka Dot Nurseries. Her social media is great. I love it. And it's really engaging, I think. And a lot of the stories or little videos and things she puts out, they have captions, they have all sorts. Um, is it something where you can say, well, actually, yeah, they've done this and this is how they've done it, or that type of thing? Because I'd quite like to be able to do stuff like they do. It seems really engaging.
So you want to copy what she's doing?
Yeah, I guess.
Is
Yeah.
that what you say? Yeah, you can copy whatever you like, as long as you're not completely copying what they do.
No, it's not.
Then
It's
yeah,
a kids' nursery. It's a kids' nursery, so it's
yeah,
not copying. But
no,
the
as long as you
style, the way that they have like captions and things pop up and all that, I think, oh, that's really good. But I wouldn't know where to start, how to do that.
okay. So I'm on her thing. Are they based in Billericay?
Yes.
Yeah, so she does reels. So she does take videos of the kids and then she just creates those into reels and then she just put in posts out. So if you see things that you find inspiring, yes, you can use those to help you with your content as well. Because at the end of the day, they've mostly got those ideas from other people.
Yeah. So how do you get all these labels and captions that pop up over the top of these videos and things?
You can use things like CapCut, or you can create them in Instagram Reels.
Right. So she'll have done Instagram Reels and then put it up onto Facebook.
Yeah, because you can save it from Instagram Reels and then upload it into Facebook. And then you can put it on TikTok if you want, and then you can share it to your stories.
Right. So is an Instagram Reel the same thing as a TikTok? Well, not the same thing, but it's just,
Yes,
you could put it.
exactly the same. Yeah, it's just Instagram's version.
Okay. So if you did that and you put it on TikTok, can you do that easily, like automatically? Just say every time I do one, can you share it to TikTok?
You can't share. I wouldn't share it to TikTok. I would create it in Instagram, save it to your camera on your camera roll on your phone, and then you upload it into Facebook, and then you upload it into TikTok.
Right. And if you're not managing TikTok, are people likely to message you on that basis, or you send them elsewhere? So, like if you put a thing on TikTok and said, click this link, which then took them back to either Facebook or your email or something.
Yeah, you can do that in TikTok as well.
Okay. All right. So, based on what you know about my business, obviously a limited exposure, and we've said about the basis of where to start with branding and the amounts of postings and things. How can I measure if what I'm doing is right? Because ultimately I could do all this stuff and it could be like useless. So how am I going to get some objective way of measuring what I'm doing and knowing like if it's the right thing, like do more of the good stuff and less?
So you need to be consistent for about 6 weeks, and then look at your insights. Then your insights will be able to tell you all your posts, which ones are engaging, which ones are working, which ones aren't, how many views you've had, how many insights you've had, how much engagement, and then you'll be able to look at all of the platforms and decide from there.
Right. So engagement is great. I get that. But how would you know how much of that is converted? Like, say, if you were thinking of pay-per-click analytics type of stuff. So you've got like maybe how many people clicked your link or how many people went to your website. Can you look at that sort of stuff?
If there is a link on there, then yes, you can see from your personal profile that and your analytics if people have clicked on links.
Because that I'd like an objective. Like, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have like likes, but likes don't bring money in necessarily. So
No,
do you see what I'm saying?
it won't tell you how much is converted into
No,
sales. But
no.
it will tell you, like, for example, if I go onto my personal profile and I look at my insights, then yes, I can see how many people have clicked on the links. But also what you do need to be careful of as well is when it tells you about, so if I just go into one and have a look where there's a link, I need to find, just bear with me while I find a post that's got a link in. Um, so let me just share my screen and then I can show you.
Because what I'm thinking is, I know you said it doesn't say about, but if you know how many people have clicked a link, let's say that link is your um, lead magnet thing, then you can go to the other platform where the lead magnet is and see how many people have gone from there. So do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like an app. So you look at one metric, you can look at another metric on the other side.
exactly. Yeah. So this is a post I put out yesterday. So it was a personal post about me ironing the bed sheets at 5:30 yesterday morning, but it was also a business post. And then if we click on the insights, that's how much the post reached, and that was the engagement. And then if I want to look at the full insights, and then I can scroll down, that will tell me how many people clicked.
Link clicks,
Yeah.
clicks. What's other
And then how
clicks
many
then?
others? Other clicks will be the image.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you can break it all down.
Because that's the thing is I worry about investing time and money and all the stuff in this. If I can't see the return, I need to know what's coming back, don't I? So do
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
a thing where you measure, like, I mean, you must do, you've got an agency, so you've got to be able to prove to your clients that what you're doing is effective, yeah? So
yeah.
do
So
you
we
have
do
certain
that through our
metrics?
system. Yeah, we do that
Yeah.
through all of our systems and everything. And every client's
So
very, very different because our purpose and our goal is very different for every single client we look after.
right. You don't have, say, like, I mean, like in a business, you'd look at gross profit, net profit, and margin or something. So
We
you don't
don't,
have like,
no, we don't do that for our clients. So that's what they will do. We don't look at their profit and loss.
no, no,
That's what
no, I
they
know
will
that.
do.
That was sorry, no, let me be clearer. That was an example. So in business, every business person is going to look at net profit, gross margin, whatever, right? So in social media metrics, are there
Yeah.
sort of 3 or 4 key KPIs that people would look at? So obviously links clicked, but do you have things that you'd say, right, you need to measure this and that will show you if it's effective?
So what we look at is we look at what posts are engaging, what people are interacting with and engaging with, because it's about building that visibility. Because if you build that visibility, people will then start clicking on the links and everything. So we'll look. So for example, over a 3-month period, if we've put out a strategy plan, we'll then look and monitor to see what posts their audience wants to see. Because then when we go to do the plan for the next 3 months, we then know what content to put out.
Right. Okay. Now, get someone to help me with this stuff. Um, what should I expect them to be able to do? Is like I just generate the stuff and I tell them where to put it and when to put it, or
Yeah,
and should
so
it
you
all be
just
me? I
generate.
mean, with the stories and the videos, I could get staff doing it, couldn't I?
You can get everyone doing it, get everyone involved. Yeah.
And how do I make sure they stay on brand? Do I tell them what to say, or
Yeah, you can direct them with what to say. You can put a branding kit together so that they know. Yeah, so you've got to kind of decide how you want that to look. And that's why I think it'd be good to speak to a branding person, because then you'll know exactly where you're kind of coming from.
okay? So where would I find a person at reasonable cost that does branding?
You can ask on social media, or I can send you a couple of names over. I mean, it depends
Okay.
on what you're looking for, but you'll be, I wouldn't even be able to say what they kind of cost.
I
They
guess
can
I don't
start
really
from
know
any.
what I'm looking for, just a refresh and a consistent across the board. I mean, I'm quite good at design and stuff, so maybe I could take some time to do it, but it's just the time factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I would book a discovery call with somebody first and have a chat with them. Because I think if you're going to do a rebrand, I would do it properly, because otherwise what you'll end up doing is you'll do it, and then if you don't do it properly now, you'll end up doing it again in a couple of years' time and spending more money.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I actually have got a friend who sort of does it, but I'm going to ask them. But also, if you've got a couple of names or something, then
Yeah, I can pop some names over, and then reach out to them. Again, I don't know what they'll charge. They can range anything from £300-400 to 1,000, depending on what you
right.
want.
And did you have somebody brand yours, or did you do it?
I've done all of mine.
Okay. So how did you make sure you got it right if you didn't get someone else to do it?
Because that's what we do as an agency. So that's
Right.
what we do. We do a lot of it for our clients and everything. So it's just, yeah, it's if you've got it in you where you're creative, we are creating thousands of images and branding every single month for our clients. So I just do my own.
Okay. So where would I go from here then? What do you suggest? I mean,
So
what
I
have I
would
not asked you that I should have asked you?
no, I think the first step is to think about what you're going to do with your branding. Think about what platforms you're definitely going to be using. Start getting content out on those. And then you need to think about what your goal is in 6 months' time, and then implement everything that you're learning from one to many into your social media as well.
Right. And the same, I act the same on it because I know there's this whole thing about LinkedIn being professional and Facebook being casual, but I act the
No,
same on both. I shouldn't be
act
any
the same
different.
on both. There's again another myth, but LinkedIn isn't all about business. In fact, you'll get a better response by being personal on there.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
cool. Right.
Okay. Any
All right.
questions that
So,
you've got?
well, I think basically, I know this is transcribed and that's cool, but if there's a way that you summarize the steps, so because I love recipes, right? I love someone to just go, right, do this, do that, and I can sort of go through a checklist, and I just think, right, I've done this bit, I've done that bit, I've done that bit. That would be helpful, but I don't know if that's something you do.
I mean, I think that the way that I would put it, I would just email you back and just say, you know, post daily, do a story daily, do a couple of lives each. I think the thing is, you've got to just start getting consistent with what you're doing,
Right.
but you can't be consistent with what you're doing until you have that branding right, because at the moment you've got to decide, you're going to stick with the branding that you've already got. If you're going to recreate the brand, I wouldn't do any social media until you've sorted out the branding.
Right. If I first do my first live, which I've not done, do I just wing it and try and do it really well, or do I just go to people, this is my first live, and so, you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's how you do it.
Yeah,
That's how you do it. Don't try and be professional and do 100 takes of stuff, because it will never work. You've just got to be you, and people will accept that
okay, all right,
as well. It's when you start to really like overthink things, that's when things start taking a lot of time.
okay. So the platform I've got that's produced the content so far, I shouldn't really use that, or you don't think that's worth keeping?
If you're paying for it, you've got to make, again, that's a decision you need to make. If it's providing you the content, again, go and look at your insights. Go and have a look and see how many people are actually looking at the posts. But I think if you are going to use it, you need to just adjust it slightly, because there's not enough content there for people to be engaged with, and that's why you're not getting any interest.
Right.
And there's not enough. It's too clinical, if that makes sense. It's all just information that's been generated by a system. There's nothing personal there. There's nothing behind the scenes. I'm not seeing, because people only go back 10 posts, and I'm not seeing anything of you, your business, or your premises, or your team.
Right.
And that's what people want to see.
Okay, fine. And
So
I
it's
should
about
start
having this
scheduling in.
mixture.
Right, so I should schedule in funnel sketches and on my phone for the personal Facebook stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I'll do my weeks thing and a monthly theme. Did you say a monthly theme? Like, so
You don't necessarily have to have a theme, but it's about having a focus. So you need to think about what is your business's focus. So for example, our focus for this month is getting more tickets sold to our event, bringing more people into the membership, selling my 2 mastermind spaces, and bringing in 4 social media management clients. So we know throughout the month that is what our social media messaging needs to be about. So the whole team know that this is what our focus is. I know what my focus is. So each week I go, okay, I need to put a post out about my event in November. I need to put a post out about the membership. I need to mention the academy. I need to mention that we do social media management. That's what my stories are on. That's what my reels are on. That's what my lives are on. And I have a focus. And that's what you need. As long as you have a focus around what you want to promote, it might be you have the same focus every single month. It just helps them when you're putting your content out.
So if you did a reel and you wanted to promote the mastermind, you don't start talking about the mastermind, you talk about something else and then you bring it in, or do you see what I mean? You wouldn't.
Yeah, so I would be talking and saying, are you really struggling with your social media? Would you like clarity? How about what do you think you would achieve with having access to me for the next 3 months to help you grow your business? So you have me every single day telling you what to do, how to do this. And if you want to know how you do that, then jump onto my mastermind, because I've got 2 spaces available to work with you in June. It's only going to cost you $997 for the whole 3 months. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting that information really quick, snappy, because it's about actually looking at what the problem the person has and giving them a solution.
Right. Okay. I get it.
All right. Okay. And it's the same with like the event. Do you love going to events? Would you like to come to a business day where there's going to be 130 business owners in one room, where we're going to be showing you how to grow your business in 2025? If you do, click on the link and get the tickets before they go up, because of early bird finishes at the end of the month. Very, very simple, straight off the cuff, not thinking about it, not rehearsing it, just getting it out there.
I always worry about how I look and how I dress and that. If I'm on brand, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, should I always be like Steve Jobs in a black roll neck? Should I be like garish shirts? I don't really have a personal brand, and I'm not sure how much that links with the business brand.
Again, you're overthinking it. You're massively overthinking it. If you've got branded t-shirts, just put a branded t-shirt on. If not, just wear something you're comfortable in, because if you're comfortable, you'll be comfortable doing what you're doing.
Right. I'm
If you go and look at
if
you go and look at my reels, I mean, they're reels aren't on brand at all. They're all, I'll be wearing different things. My hair will be very, very different. It's not about, people aren't interested in what you were doing, they're interested about the message.
Okay. I'm overthinking. I've got to stop it.
You are overthinking it, and it's the number one thing that all of my clients do. They overthink it massively, and it's just sometimes just because I don't think they think that simple social media can be simple. They think it's got to be they think it's got to be complicated. They think it's got to be hard, but it doesn't have to be at all. Not at all. I mean, I had one of my clients messaged me this morning and just said, "Sam, I'm really struggling with what to put out today." I said, "Well, just put a top tip out." "Oh, well, I did that last week." "Yeah, that was last week. We're talking about today. So just put another one out. If you're struggling, you've got 12 of them, because I know you have. Just go and find one that you haven't done for a long time and put that out again." She's like, "Okay, brilliant." Because sometimes we just need that clarity of knowing exactly what we do and what we don't do.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, cool. I've got enough to go on with, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just baby steps at the moment, and thinking to yourself, okay, I need to think about this. I need to get this in place, think about this, and just do baby steps. And even if it's just thinking to yourself, okay, I'm just going to do Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Let's start off with 3 posts a week, then build it up to 5, then build it up to 7.
I'm worried that the time frame that it takes me to do the rebrand is going to stop me from starting. So should I start before I rebrand and then talk about the rebrand? Because otherwise I just won't even start.
Yeah, if that's how you feel, then get into it.
Do you see
Yeah,
what I mean?
but
Just by the time you get
yeah,
somebody, another month, aren't you? And you've got it sorted, then you've got to do the do, and then everything gets put off again.
yeah, just do what works for you. That's, you have to, if you feel that you want to get going now, and then look at look at the rebrand as you go along, and then just announce it from there.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah. I just think I've got to try and think how I can get some people on board with this and help me. I don't have any really decent photos, so I probably need someone to do some photos of me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever use AI? I mean, could I use AI to make this a bit easier?
Yeah, you can use AI. You can use images on AI. You can use wording on AI. Yeah.
I've got some good AI images of me as Barbie and me as a Viking and all sorts of stuff, but obviously that's not the
Yeah.
sort of thing.
No, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? People like fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No worries. I will get
Okay.
cracking and see what I can manage.
Cool. And
If I
yeah,
get, when I say if I get stuck, I don't mean stuck as in whole strategy stuck. What I mean is like, if there's a question like the whole, should I be this thing or this thing on this platform? What I mean is when I first came to you, or when I first spoke to you, I was not sure about whether to be or how to be the face of Bluebell Vet Physio versus me as a person and so on. I think I've got that. But if I have a question about that, which is my overarching thing, can I just ping that to you?
yeah, of course. Yeah, just drop me a message. That's fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. No worries. And I'll get my team to sort out the recording and the transcript and get that over to you.
Perfect. Yeah. Because I need to, because when it transcribes, you get the whole thing, but you can also get bulleted. I don't know if you use like, Otter or what you use, or Fathom. I don't know what you use for it, but
We just use the Zoom one. Yeah. So
all right.
we've just got it built into Zoom. So we just use that one, but
Okay.
I'll get them to send that over for you.
Perfect. All right. No, that's
All
great. And
right.
I'll get cracking. Thank you very
All
much.
right. No worries
All
at
right.
all.
See you then.
All right. Speak to you
Bye.
later. Bye. Bye.